Hello, my dear student. Welcome back again to your English class. Myself, Manali, I am your digital mentor. Today, we are going to study chapter number 3, Srinivas Ramanujam. Chapter 3, Srinivas Ramanujan. Entering the chapter, India has contributed a lot in the field of mathematics. It is India where decimal system was developed first. The concept of zero is also a contribution of India to the world. Besides, our country has given birth to many great mathematicians. Srinivas Ramanujam is one of them. So here we are going to study about one of the great mathematicians of India, Srinivas Ramanujan. Srinivas Ramanujan was born in Tamil Nadu on 22 December 1887. So in the year 1887, he was born. His father, Srinivas, was a low-paid clerk in a cloth shop. So his father used to work in a cloth shop and his earning was very low. Srinivas had an early schooling in Kumbakonam Town High School. So he had an early schooling in the town Kumbakonam. His mathematical talent began manifesting itself when he was 10 years old. So when he was 10 years old, his mathematical talent began. He found that he could easily learn the subject himself and clear the doubts of even boys belonging to senior classes. So now, at the age of 10 years, he was able to solve the doubts of senior classes as well. In 1904, Ramanujan finished schooling and entered the government college of Kumbakonam. So, in the year 1904, Ramanujan finished schooling and entered the government college. Shortly before leaving school, he had come across a copy, a synopsis of elementary result in pure and applied mathematics by G.S. Carr. So, in school, before leaving the school, he had come across a copy, a synopsis of elementary result in pure and applied mathematics. It was written by G.S. Carr. The book had great impact on him. This book had great impact on Ramanujan. He began taking interest in mathematics more than ever before. After reading this book, he has taken more interest in mathematics. He paid less attention to other subjects and consequently failed in his examination. Ramanujan only focused on maths, but he does not focus on other subjects. That's why he continuously failed in the exam. Ramanujan was sent to Madras, now Chennai, the next year 1906 by his parents to try his luck at the well-known Pachiappa's College. So, where he went? He went to Pachiappa College for try his luck in mathematics. But here also he did not do fare well in other subjects and fail in examination. But here he was not able to learn other subject and he failed in the examination. He was only focused towards mathematics. He then returned to his home in Kumbakonam. Then he returned back to his home. The next few years were very bad for him. He tried his hand at giving private tuitions to students. The famous notebooks of Ramanujan had their origin in this period. He had a peculiar fascination for numbers. So he was very fascinated for numbers. But the next few years, were bad for him. He intuitively formulated theorem after theorem. He was creating theorem after theorem. Ramanujan's approach in mathematical research was unorthodox and not welcomed by mathematicians. So, in initial days, his mathematical research was not appreciated by the other mathematicians. Due to his poor educational training, he did not realize that need for rigorous proof, which is mainstay of Western mathematics. He would arrive at final solution jumping many steps. So he do some mistakes in mathematics. He just arrive on the final solution without solving the steps. Ramanujan was now 20. So Ramanujan was now 20 years old. He was married to Janki in 1990. So he was married with the girl Janki. Due to added responsibility, Ramanujan started searching for a job desperately. So just because he was married now and the responsibility had been added to his life, so he started for searching the job desperately. In February 1912, Ramanujan applied for a clerk's post in the Madras Port Trust. So where he applied for a clerk post in Madras Port Trust. Here he came into contact with two remarkable men who played a crucial role in bringing him into the limelight of mathematical world. So here at that place he met two men who had played a great role in his mathematical field. One of them was Sir Francis Spring, the chief engineer of the Port Trust and chief accountant. They brought him into contact with the professor of mathematics at Madras College. So they both brought him into contact with the professor of Madras College. Then came the suggestion that he should write to leading mathematicians at Madras College. Then came the suggestion that he should write to leading mathematician in Britain to get his ability recognized. So for recognition of his ability, they have suggested that they should write to leading mathematicians in Britain. On 16 January 1913, Ramanujan wrote letter to a professor of mathematics at the Cambridge University named J.H. Hardy. So on 16 January, he wrote a letter to a Cambridge Oxford University mathematician J.H. Hardy. The letter was full of 100 theorems written in a typical Ramanujan style, jumping a step and careless about proofs. So the letter was full of the theorem which Ramanujan has written in his style. J.H. Hardy read the letter and threw it aside, but the letter kept haunting him. Hardy's intuition was telling him to call over his college. Then what happened? At once, J.H. Hardy read the letter and he threw the letter aside. But now the letter was haunting him somehow. J.E. Littlewood and they started working through Ramanujan's formulation systematically. Then they have called Ramanujan and they have started working on the formulations of Ramanujan. Realization dawned upon them they were dealing with the mathematical mind of highest order. So his mind was very brilliant and they realized that Ramanujan was a great mathematician. Hardy wrote back to Ramanujan and praised his work profusely. This letter had a wonderful effect on Ramanujan. It was the first recognition of his work from a world-class mathematician. So Hardy wrote a letter back to Ramanujan and appreciated his work. And this was the first appreciation from the world-class, from the top-class mathematicians to Ramanujan. A regular correspondence grew between Hardy and Ramanujan, in the course of which Hardy invited him to come over the England from Chennai port by the ship Nevasa on 17 March 1940. So regular correspondent, regular talking grew between Hardy and Ramanujan, and Hardy called Ramanujan to England from Chennai port by ship Nevasa. At Cambridge, Hardy made every possible effort to make his life comfortable. In 1917, Ramanujan fell prey to tuberculosis. He was admitted to a hospital. When Hardy visited him, he mentioned that he had come in a taxi bearing an uninteresting number 1729. Ramanujan immediately replied, "No, Hardy, it is a very interesting number. It is the smallest number expressible as the sum of two cubes in different ways. 1729, 10 cube plus 9 cube is equal to 12 cube plus 1 cube." Then what happened? At Cambridge, Hardy made every situation comfortable from Ramanujan to live there. But in 1917, Ramanujan fell prey by tuberculosis. So he suffered by tuberculosis. He was admitted in hospital. Then all of a sudden, Hardy visited him to meet, and he expresses some numbers which Ramanujan replied with a different formulation of the number. The number is given below. You can read it. Ramanujan was elected as a Fellow of the Royal Society in May 1918. So he was also elected as a Fellow of Royal Society. India got this news with the great joy and pride. Ramanujan in return to India to improve his health. So Ramanujan was now back to India to improve his health, but he did not live long. So he died. He died on 26 April 1920. On 26 April 1920, he died. His age was 32 years at that time. His name is immortal because of his contribution he made in the field of mathematics. So his name is immortal. The work he penned down and the contribution he given to the mathematics is unremarkable, and it is memorable, and it is proud for all Indians. So this was a beautiful chapter about the story of Ramanujan, who was the great mathematicians of India. Now we will look its word meaning. Talent, natural ability. Impact, collision. Attention, applying one's mind. Peculiar, uncommon. Fascination, alluring influence. Rigorous, severe, strict. Crucial, decisive, trying. Desperately, recklessly. Haunting, visited by ghost. Dawn, day breaks. So my dear student, we have completed this beautiful chapter. I hope you must have understood what I have taught you today. We will be seeing you in your next English class. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.